Research, double-checking facts from government entities, and seeking out multiple news organizations reporting on the same topic.
Go, you guys. Press, let's go.
Can help people navigate and sort out fact from fiction.
We get so much information provided to us that sometimes just pausing and reflecting on the information before you believe it as true or before you share it can be enough of a check for your critical thinking to come into play.
Bloomfield says there are traps that people can fall into, especially in a digitally connected society.
You have throughout history people spreading disinformation through pamphlets or non-technological means, but with the internet and social media, that information can travel extremely quickly and it can proliferate and amplify itself.
Experts urge caution with social media echo chambers, places or groups on the internet where like-minded people congregate, consume, and share similar beliefs and even disinformation.
It further solidifies your own belief that you are in the right. You are correct in what you're consuming because everyone else around you thinks that same way.
Experts say it can be tough to figure out what's right and wrong, but truth and journalism will stand the test of time.
What do we mean by journalism? And over the years, I've come to think of journalism differently than opinion or information in this way, and that is a journalist like you would be willing to report something that you personally disagree with or that Channel 13 would not profit from. In fact, might even be penalized.
Because lies are obvious and ugly when set against the light of truth.
Sarah and her family are watching history unfold, and they think and talk about the information they're getting. Sometimes it's food for thought to digest over dinner.
And then that's why when there's riots, it's like a shock. It's like, well, it's not a shock if you've been paying attention.
Reading broadly, thinking critically, and taking a moment to digest information and even disconnect for a moment can help people navigate the news.
What strategy, if any, do you think helps you the most to navigate the news?
So it sounds cheesy, but I took a psychology class and the first thing we learned was about critical thinking. So pretty much questioning everything.
Experts say consuming information from a variety of different media platforms, including TV, print, and online, even reading internationally, is essential to understanding different viewpoints. Joe Bartels, 13 Action News. Welcome back to this 13 Action News special. For more information and advice on what we're giving you this half hour, visit our website, ktnv.com/news literacy.
Social media algorithms can change what you see and how you view the world. Now, this could narrow your exposure to different points of views and in some cases overload you with access to false information. This week, we're partnering up with the News Literacy Foundation to help provide you with ways we can all spot misinformation that's meant to trick or mislead us. Scripps reporter Asher Krishi takes a look at how misinformation can hack the human mind and what we can do about it.
In a time of instant information gratification, immeasurable amounts of data online are at our fingertips. Some say it's both a blessing and a curse.
The downside of that is it's very conducive to selective thinking.
Helen Lieb-Weig is a fake news expert and critical thinking advocate with the Reboot Foundation. For the last few years, they've been studying fake news and the misinformation ecosystem.
What's the link between fake news and critical thinking? There's actually quite a bit, because fake news is a bit of a symptom of not doing proper critical thinking.
Social media has been a great boon to all kinds of activists because of its ease of use, but it also allows for easy targeting. Weig says it's different from going to the library to look up information. It's less deliberate, and algorithms drive your choices rather than you.
The negative side is you are naturally being tunnel visioned in terms of even the sources of information that you're gathering.
At the same time, trust in established news sources has been on the decline over the last 50 years. According to Gallup, that confidence dropped to its all-time low in 2016, with only 32% of Americans saying they have a great deal or fair amount of trust in the media.
There's skepticism even about institutional sources.
Another alarming trend that compounds the issue of fact versus fiction came from MIT researchers. They found that false news stories are 70% more likely to be retweeted than true stories, and it takes 6 times as long for true stories to reach the same number of people as false ones.
People are not only falling into the trap of their cognitive biases, they're nurturing it via different channels of information gathering.
After President Trump was banned from Twitter January 8th, researchers at analytics firm Signal Labs say election misinformation dropped by 73%. Here's the thing. Research indicates that the spread of misinformation on Twitter is attributed more to people than bots. 3 things Bouygues recommends. Avoid single sources of information. Resist clicking on the first links in your online search results, and familiarize yourself with common tactics used by some to mislead, like conspiracy theories and trolling, which prey on emotional reactions.
Ultimately, people don't want to be duped. That's in our human nature. And ultimately, we want to spend that extra time to have better information.
In a time when information is being weaponized, experts say it's best to think twice before you share or retweet. I'm Usher Qureshi reporting.
Welcome back to this 13 Action News special. For more information and advice on what we're giving you this half hour, visit our website, ktnv.com/news literacy.
Well, the news we bring you every day comes from a variety of sources, and it starts with a core group of multimedia journalists right here at 13 Action News.
And this morning we're bringing you a rare look at how the news goes from an idea to being on air and beyond. Here's 13 Action News reporter Joe Bartels.
The pandemic has changed how journalists do their jobs. Most of the reporters here at 13 Action News, also called MMJs or multimedia journalists, are working from home, including myself. We follow Jeremy Chen for an afternoon on a behind-the-scenes look at making the news.
There's no typical day as a journalist.
Yes.
Each one unique with its own set of hurdles and challenges.
I have some story ideas, possible story ideas ready to go.
Jeremy starts his day by making phone calls from his bedroom, checking emails and reviewing information sources. Viable story options become ideas to be pitched to news managers in a virtual morning meeting at 10 a.m.
Probably the second most prolific cockroach infestation I have ever seen in my dirty dining history.
Reporters and staff take turns bringing information and ideas to the meeting for story consideration.
Okay, great. Thank you. Jeremy.
Hey guys, just a few things. Obviously the big news of the day is the impeachment proceedings that's going on up in Capitol Hill.
After more than an hour of back and forth, Jeremy's story is assigned.
The emergency declaration at St. Rose.
On this day, Jeremy is trying to track down which hospitals will talk about capacity and COVID concerns. While he waits for confirmation of interviews, he's been told he needs to produce a story for the 5 p.m. newscast, which he will present live.
Boom, there you go.
And another story for the 6:30 newscast, which he will shoot what's called a look live introduction and tag.
Yeah, microwavable food comes in clutch on a day in the life of a journalist.
A quick bite to eat.
It's 11:59, we got 1:15 interview, I'll make one more phone call.
But the break doesn't last more than 10 minutes. Suddenly, interviews start falling into place. Sunrise Hospital and a UNLV professor have agreed to talk.
I have to do my Zoom interview in the car anyways.
Jeremy is an MMJ and shoots his own video.
14-year-old Lexus.
He loads up his camera equipment in his personal car and drives to a nearby park to conduct a virtual interview.
Zoom is all ready to go, just waiting for our guy to come on.
From there, he drives himself over to Sunrise Hospital and gets an unexpected surprise.
So usually this doesn't happen at all, but today was a particularly lucky day. A photographer was available and he's going to help me shoot this interview at the hospital.
Hi. Photographer Jim Flint will help shoot the interview.
So I need you over here, actually.
Okay, over there?
Yeah, anywhere over here, though.
That way, Jeremy can focus on asking questions and getting the facts.
Like a plan in place to ensure, like, you know, your system, your doctors, nurses are not overwhelmed, you know, especially with, you know, however many patients are coming in.
Yes, we have a search plan.
The information gathered from hospital authorities begins to build the foundation of the story, but the news building process is lengthy.
Well, we're going to go to St. Rose.
Oh, you're going to St. Rose?
Because that's where the emergency
I'll see you over there.
The next light, turn left.
A drive across town brings Jeremy to St. Rose San Martin Hospital.
Just finished up, you know, sending an update to the newsroom because communication is key in the communications business. That is journalism.
KTNV reporters are required to check in with our managers and supervisors throughout the day to ensure the stories are coming together in time for the news.
For the community is to protect themselves, and what we encourage is masking.
Jeremy has to listen to the interviews he's gathered, pulling out what we call sound bites and using the information to write his script for his TV story.
So I'm just going over your script right now.
All scripts written by reporters are reviewed by news management.
I'm going to change a person to someone. That way when we get to the they part, it makes a little more sense.
Yeah.
It's a crucial step to make sure the news is accurate and includes all of the necessary information.
We're making sure we're accurate with our information. You want to check on me where I got the information from. You know, I checked on myself.
COVID has changed the way KTNV reporters work. Most of the time, it's in our cars or at home. And this day comes with another surprise.
I got told I am no longer an encore look live at 6:30. They're going to have me live at the 6.
The change means Jeremy's deadline has moved up by 30 minutes, and now he must split his original story into 2 separate reports we call packages, one for the 5 and another for 6 p.m.
So you're up against it now. It is now almost 4 o'clock, about an hour to
About an hour to go, yep.
What happens now?
So now I have to track the story, and once I'm finished tracking, I have to start editing the story on my laptop right here and send it over to the station. And once that is all done, I'm going to be going live. 3, 2.
Jeremy has to work fast, with about an hour before the newscast. He uses his cell phone to speak or track his voice for the pre-recorded portion of his package. Once he's finished editing, Jeremy sends his 5 p.m. story through the internet so the video can air.
Mic check, Jeremy. Check 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Yo soy Jeremías Chen en vivo a 13.
Now it's time to prepare for the newscast. We use cell phones to call into the station to hear the broadcast.
Where are my words? Where are my words?
And we use backpacks, which connect to cell phone towers to send live video from the camera.
And 13 Action News reporter Jeremy Chan right now is live near Buffalo in the 215 with all of this and what it means, Jeremy.
Yeah, Todd and Tricia, it was here at the St. Rose Dominican Hospital in Southwest Vegas where that disaster declaration was made.
Jeremy's story is 1 minute and 33 seconds long. Moments later, he concludes his live tag.
We'll have more on that coming up at 6. Jeremy Chen, 13 Action News.
As the sun sets, the process repeats again for the 6 p.m. broadcast. After the 6 p.m., we caught up with Jeremy.
Well, how do you feel?
A little bit exhausted mentally, a little bit physically. You know, it's a stressful job, but, you know, very much worth it.
No bathroom breaks, and lunch is a luxury. 9 hours into the shift, and it's not over just yet.
All right, it's almost 6:45. We're back at Jeremy's apartment, and the work continues.
Jeremy still has to unload his camera equipment and begin posting his story to the internet.
Slap it together, OTT.